Hey everybody, it's Triple J and welcome back to another episode of Bountiful Bayou here in City Skylines. Last time we put together this park that is not done yet. Still needs some love. But that love will come later on once we unlock a little bit more of the stuff within it. Because we're higher than the entertainment level still. We just need to get to 2,500 visitors until we can unlock some more buildings. What I would like to unlock is specifically the gazebos. The climbing frame would also be nice, but yeah, the gazebos for sure. But today I thought that we would work on our first campus since we just unlocked the ability to have higher education. Now that we have high density buildings, we're going to want to put maybe a couple more offices in some areas and do different things like that. So I thought it would be advantageous of us to take advantage? Question mark? Okay. Regardless, here's what I think we might do. So we have a little bit of a hill here, and I think I kind of want to play with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this. Now, I like the idea of having this sort of rocky outcrop, I guess, but I don't think this is going to work where it is as it stands right now. Now, but before we do that, I want to lower this highway, and instead of maybe rebuilding the whole thing, I would like to just sort of grab a couple nodes. Now, of course, I can't manipulate this because it's off of the tile. We will in a future episode. Now, I think the reason that these are higher is because there's a ship line through here. Is that correct? Can I see that? Oh, there actually isn't. Oh, that's fascinating. Okay, so there's a ship line here. Oh, okay. Well, that is good to note. Especially considering we were going to have some commercial here. But if we're going to have... Oh, there's one out here, and it actually sneaks through this side. Okay, so if we're going to do any, harbor sort of setup, we're going to have to do that maybe out here. On this side, which is okay. Which is totally okay. But we're not going to be able to have, a harbor in here. I don't think that's going to connect. Interesting how that is working. But, good to know. Good to know. Okay. So, in that case, we don't really need these to be as high because we're not going to have cruise ships, and we're also not going to have commercial rigs coming through here. So that actually makes me feel a little bit better. We can lower these down to maybe about there-ish. So I'm going to grab these nodes. And those. And I'm going to go here to align heights. I'm going to align them with that node height. Boom. Now, obviously, this looks stupid, but we'll fix that at a later date.
Hi, listeners.
There we go. That's much more appropriate of a height.
Hello? Am I alone in here?
So, yeah, I'm going to take those and lower them down. Great. And this one I think is a little lower than that one for some reason. Don't really know why. It's like the nodes actually don't line up quite right or something. Or maybe that one's a little too high. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. That is a really nice smooth transition right down to ground level. And the best part of this is we can still get a road under here quite reasonably. But I think what it might be nice is to play with a little bit of the height here. Of almost a little bit of a rolling hill through this campus. So let me me grab, let's see, that height. And I don't want to change this too much, but I do want to push this out just a little bit. Okay. And what I'm going to do is get rid of the trees in here so I can kind of see what I'm doing. There we go. I'm going to keep this like odd shape. And actually what might be nice, kind of when I was doing that, is what if we grabbed this height and brought it along this bottom edge as sort of like, oh, there we go. We unlocked level 3 of our Chestnut Hill Park, which gave us gazebos. So we'll come back to that in a second here. What if I kept this in here? Kind of as like a walking area behind here. And we can just sort of soften that. And that's kind of nice, isn't it? Now we can start to shape this maybe a little bit more. As we decide where we might want a future road to go in there. I'm gonna push that out a bit. And then my thought was that we can use this road here. To go like this. Gentle curve there. And then this will come down like that underneath the highway. Okay, so I'm actually going to use this road. Large avenue with grass. This is the two-way road. Have this come through, and then I'm going to have it come through. I'd love to get it perpendicular to the highway here. Let me just go like this. Delete that. There we go. Bring that up. So that's perfectly perpendicular. I will get rid of that pillar. Okay, I'm going to land it onto ground level. And then I'm going to take a curve and perfectly curve that to there. It's not a perfect 90, but it's kind of nice. So this will be sort of the avenue that flows through the campus, and then the campus will exist on either side, and we'll sort of, you know, maybe even push this out to over here a little bit. I don't know, or have something else down here, maybe like a little park or something. I don't know. And then as far as where this goes, maybe. Oh. Yeah, maybe. So I'm gonna push this out. We have plenty of space here. So let's grab a little bit more real estate. Okay. And this, what is that, 11? It's 10. That's close enough. Okay. So that connects up to there. I'm going to back that up. To... Let's see, what does this look like? I think that's just fine. Okay, so this comes through and reconnects up to this avenue, which then brings you right into this downtown area. So it's sort of another connection point to these, but hopefully it's really only for traffic, you know, emergency vehicles, and I guess, you know, well, no, mostly emergency vehicles. I don't know why you're using this, but ideally it's used for generally the university students and things. So I'm going to grab this back. I'm going to bring that out. There's some flat space to work with over here. Okay. So let's take the zones, or the district painting, and let's paint ourselves a campus. And that should unlock the campus. Let's just do that whole thing. Great. So now it's a campus area. So we'll have the opportunity to go into education. And now, oh, I see. Oh, see, this is, again, just like the parks, I have completely forgotten. I'm not even certain that I have worked with the milestones since campus came out. Gosh, maybe even park life at this point. But yeah. Okay, well, we have a trade school available to us. So I guess a trade school is what we're going to have over here. And I think that's actually quite fitting because these are sort of smaller town neighborhoods, things like that. So I think you would have like some sort of a trade school in here. So we'll need an admin building to place down first. So it's kind of like the entrance to it. I'm kind of wondering if maybe we want that. Do we want it directly off of the road, or do we want it off of a path? Again, I don't want this to be huge. Like, we're not going to have all these tons of schools in here, but it kind of feels like it should exist off of its own thing. How can we do that on this curve so it looks nice? What if I did this? Okay. And that. Just right off of it. Okay. Now, granted, this is a very large, very sophisticated building for a trade school. But it is a really nice looking asset. But it is quite studious, quite glamorous looking building, I think. But then what I'll do, these roads, I feel like they should just reconnect up. You know, that's gonna be on that slant, which I don't want. Could I do that? And that's not quite. There we go. Because the weird thing about having them off of these roads is I was going to bring the road around, but these are surrounded in pathway that are automatically connected to the asset itself, which makes it a little tricky sometimes when placing things around. Oh, I need to bring water up through here. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. That's actually, you know, if I get rid of some of these street lights, obviously, it's actually not the worst. Because that's kind of almost how universities are, at least kind of around where I live. There's always confusing intersections and things because universities are so old, so sort of the road systems get built, you know, kind of haphazardly around them sometimes, I feel like. There's a lot of one-ways and weird things like that, so I think this is totally acceptable, but I am going to take out the street lights there. There can be a light there, I suppose, but yeah, I don't want anything to hinder this. And there may be some weird traffic stuff that happens, but I'm kind of okay with that. I just don't really have a plan. I don't really have a I don't know where these roads would go because I want pathways kind of connecting up the rest of it. But I think that's a good way to sort of bring you into the university there. Okay, so along with that building, let's see, we have dorms. Yeah, I think we might do maybe 1 or 2 of the dorm rooms. Trade school study hall. Again, a lot of these buildings are really, really big. Groundskeeping. Sure, you know, we could put the groundskeeping around like maybe like the backside or something. Oh, and then we have to unlock these, but we have to get to our reputation level needs to be higher, which is not always easy. So we're not even going to be able to build a very big one anyway. You can have a book club, the study hall, and the dorms. Okay. Well, the dorms should probably face, you know, be a little bit closer over to here. You know, actually, yeah, what if the campus extended to down here? You sort of have this like multi-layered oh, I actually really like that. So I'm gonna put another road in here, I think. Well, you know what I might want to do before we do that is make the connection points if we are truly going to establish a connection point, because I was going to redo these roads. Oh, there's so many things. So many things to start thinking about. It would probably, because, let's see. We have a connection to the highway here. But then, you know, I think we're going to have one here. But then they're going to be kind of cutting through. You know, there's not really an avenue right now. They're going to have to be cutting through to get to over here. You know, and then there's not another one until over here. It kind of feels like we need one right here. It's going to be really heavily used, though, I'm afraid. And we're going to have to do it sort of... it's not going to be the best thing, because this is a very long bridge. Well, let's maybe start to make some of those decisions here. If I used this intersection...
Saddle up in the mornings with Jimmy and the Stallion, the only morning show featuring DJ Jimmy Fries and a 4-year-old quarter horse named Clover.
This is Jimmy Fries coming.
That would kind of negate what I was thinking about doing over here, but we could do some sort of a half clover system.
Easy boy.
They'll play your favorite hits.
You know, we could do some sort of a half clover where we go 5 by 5. Maybe a little bit bigger than that, 7 by 7. Okay. And then I don't know if that even needs to be a 4-laner. We could probably make that a little smaller. Okay, so I'm going to turn that off.
I mean, what language is that even? Is it ancient Tibetan?
And I'm going to go just build a little bit of a road right there.
Way out in the biosphere, some alien being is like
One next to it. Okay, that will connect, and that will connect.
Their universe nodding their head means they're hungry, and they want to eat me. Well, I hope I just told them. But please don't.
And then we can go like that.
Oh, communication
Sort of
is
have that
great.
connection. This
Sweet
pretty
stuff
tight,
out there.
which could not be
good,
good, but might also be okay. How do I go to there? Maybe. Yep. Oh, and we hit our next milestone: 8,000 population. So small city. We hit another level of unique buildings. We got trains, monorails, cable cars, some new policies. Now we can do train stations. That will be actually really, really helpful when we start to build our big city. And I think then we can start to take a look at how we might want to involve trains, connecting up the major city center and all of that. We also got yoga garden. Excellent. Wasn't I talking about putting the yoga garden in someplace? I think I was. Let's connect that up. Okay. It's not super invasive, but could be a disaster. It's a pretty sharp curve there, but it will work, technically. And we'll see if people start using that. Okay. And then on this side, we can kind of do the same thing coming maybe off of this bridge. Or use this as some sort of a tunnel system underneath. Now, I don't always love using tunnels. However, in an instance where space is sort of tight and we are trying to, you know, do some things, it might actually be very helpful. Plus, the other thing is we're separating the intersections a little bit more, right? There's a nice long bridge where we don't have traffic lights, you know, at every, you know, 10 squares or whatever. So what if I did this? What if I went... Let's see. I could do the split underground. Which might be the play. Okay, so what if I go like this? Down to there. Okay. And this, curve that. Okay. So you're going to go under the road. I'd like to pull this right up to that, if possible. Sort of line up. So it looks a little bit more integrated into the landscape, right? Because it sort of looks like it's almost going into that road, but it's not. It's going underground. Okay, so then we go underground. Turn off the guidelines. I'm going to do the same thing. Now, again, it's not imperative that this looks as nice because we are underground. But... But, you know, you still want to... Oh, see, I don't want to go... Oh, there we go. It's trying to connect to... There we go. Ooh, that is not as easy because it's trying to connect to the other node. It's confused. Just go like that, and then, so then, yeah. Okay. Now that are out, now how can we sort of make that feel... pretty good? We could just kind of use it in this area right here. So let me go down about there, and then we'll come up. Actually, let me back that up a little bit more. Because what I don't like is the curved tunnels, if I can avoid them. I want to get as close as I can to that. There. And then we'll curve this. Real nice and gently to there. Beautiful. Okay. And then again, we can put some fence and some trees around this. I think there'll probably be some barrier even. So underground. And then we'll make this connection to there, and that's fine. So that will be the in onto that highway, and then the off. The off. Because we're going, yeah. First thing is, can we just maybe I can just redo some of this without actually having to rebuild. It's just some weird kinks to this road. Maybe I can just do this instead. You know? So I was planning to rebuild, but maybe I don't need to do that. Maybe this is just that was the weird part. Yeah, that's totally fine. This could maybe use a little bit of a curve. Okay. So if I'm going to come off, because this is on a curve, it sort of messes up where I was thinking of. So kind of part of me is wondering, can I maybe go alongside this and just drop down to a tunnel? It's pretty dramatic, but I think it'll work. And then I can just make that connection point there, and then there's gonna be this little goofy thing that's happening, so then we can just maybe take and ooh, I see. Well, it's fine. There we go. And I'll have that go down, and this will, yeah. Grab that node. Start to dive that as quickly as we can. It's not the most perfect thing, but I like that it's, you know, parallel to this. That makes me feel a little bit better. So I'll sacrifice that height for that parallelness. So let's go underground, and then we'll reconnect these, and then finally we'll have what we were looking for. Sometimes it takes a little bit of finesse, but alright, so make sure that's the right direction. Great. So now, kind of sneaky secrets. We have a four-way, you know, sort of half clover, kind of. Not exactly sure what you would call that, but. And then what that still allows us to do, I think, is to create. You know, we can block this off with some fence and some trees and still maybe have the dorms down here. because I think we could sort of maybe push this back a little. Have a couple dorms down there. A walking path to the street. We'll have some commercial businesses along here, so like, hang out, go to their little clubs or whatever. Go to the bars, things like that. And then they can walk back to the campus, and then they can walk up sort of the hill to go to class. And then I think we'll have a path all the way around this that maybe, raises up over the road. And then has different connecting points, and then we'll have some little overlooks over here or something. I don't know, just like a nice, pretty way to look at the campus. But that is going to have to happen in the next episode, because I forgot that we needed to put this in when the episode started. But I think that it was really important that we did this. I think it was a good, like I had said a couple episodes ago, if we're going to do this by placing down our neighborhood so far, we had to sort of come up with a creative, maybe a little bit unorthodox way to make these connection points, and that's what makes it fun. It kind of forces you to be a little bit more creative with how that all flows, and I think this will actually work okay. I'm a little worried about this being maybe too short, but we could always extend this a little bit more. But we'll have to see how that kind of shakes out as this gets a little bit more busy. But everybody, yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it for us. Next time we will tackle the rest of the university and continue to work on this park over here and keep moving. There's always tons of things to do. But everybody, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time in Bountiful Bayou here in City Skylines. Bye, everybody.